there, I'm your host, Evil Empire, and this week's feature is Titan's Nest. So before we get started, let me remind you to hit the subscribe button, remember to like the video. You're the real heroes out there who are liking this video, those of you who I know do this consistently, so thanks a lot, I really appreciate you. You're the heart and soul of the channel, and as always, once again, thanks for watching this week. So this deck is a bit of a crazy one, a port from Standard, something that I saw Lian playing. I found on his Cardboard Live page this deck in Standard, and I decided to port the deck over to Historic. Now that Grizzly Salvage has been added to the format, I think there's a good chance that we could use Grizzly Salvage along with Strategic Planning, Search for Escanta, a few other cards, to fuel Titan's Nest. And what we're trying to do here is basically give all of our big spells Delve, which is basically an ability that allows you to exile a card from your graveyard and use that exile to make one colorless mana. And the catch with Titan's Nest is you have to spend this mana to cast a spell that's one or more colors without X in its mana cost. So kind of a big restriction, but we have some cards here that are pretty big spells that we want to be able to use Titan's Nest to fuel and get out these cards. So pretty much everything in the 6 and 7 slot here, especially looking at Shark Typhoon. Shark Typhoon's the main win condition of the deck, and usually once we get that down, and especially considering if it sticks around, we're really going to be making some big sharks in this deck. Sharks with a 7/7 shark, maybe, perhaps you'll be interested in that. If you could cast an Alrund's Epiphany, you could have that. Even if you're paying the student cost on Baleful Mastery, if you're paying the 2 and letting them draw, you still get to make a 4/4 shark. So definitely Shark Typhoon is the biggest way that this deck has as a win condition to win the game, with having Titan's Nest out and being able to just basically pay 1 blue mana, exile 5 cards, and play Shark Typhoon. Seems pretty good, seems decent. Another really important win condition for this version of the deck, we have 1 Liliana Dreadhorde General and 1 Professor Onyx. So each of these, in Ollie's build, they were both Professor Onyx, but I decided to vary it up, given that we have this one available in Historic, and might as well play it if we have it. It can sometimes function almost as an effective board wipe, especially if the opponent only has 2 or 3 creatures laying around. Then the Dreadhorde General can really be nice, come down, reset the board, and then just start taking up, and usually drawing a ton of cards, just like raw card draw, with that ability, the static ability that whenever a creature I control dies, draw a card. So that's pretty sweet. And then Professor Onyx, obviously with the Magecraft ability, that's really sweet and allows us to recoup a bunch of life if we've gone really low playing against aggro, as we often do in Best of 1. And so that's kind of how the deck is configured. We've really got a ton of board wipes. So 1 Shadow's Verdict, 2 Crux of Fate, which I think is a really underused card in the format right now. In this deck in particular, it's often just black, destroy all creatures, which is pretty sweet. So that's 3 right there, and then 2 more with 2 Extinction Event for a total of 5 sweepers in the deck. So we're really trying to keep the opponent off the board as much as possible. And we even have a single copy of Regrowth to be able to get that back and maybe even Wrath the board 1 more time. Although, you do have to be mindful because you're often exiling cards to Titan's Nest to make mana, so kind of having Regrowth in the deck makes you want to think carefully about what exactly you're exiling. Similar with the 1-of copy of Eldest Reborn, you try to avoid exiling one of the Planeswalkers if you can. Because that way you can use the 3rd chapter on the Eldest Reborn to be able to get back that Planeswalker, get back a Liliana Planeswalker with that. And then rounding out the deck are basically card draw spells like Thirst for Meaning, Strategic Planning I already mentioned, along with the Mill Suite, and Brainstorm, of course, as the best cantrip in the format by far. If you're playing blue, you pretty much need a very good reason not to be playing Brainstorm, because it's such a huge part of what you want to do as a control deck. And that pretty much rounds out the deck. Going along with Brainstorm, we've got the 3 Fable Passage to be able to shuffle away some of the nonsense that we might not want in a given matchup. And then, yeah, obviously, kind of the new card from Historic Anthology 5 was Grizzly Salvage that really brought this deck together. And I think you could probably get away with shaving this down to a 3 of, as I saw Arjuna do in his version of the deck. When I saw it in the ArenaCraft podcast Discord, he was running 3 Grizzly Salvage in his version of Titan's Nest. But I think definitely everyone will kind of make their own decisions about what the exact card quantities are. But overall, I've been very impressed. It was an incredibly powerful deck. When I was able to get Titan's Nest down, it absolutely dominated, giving me the ability to cast huge spells for very little mana, and then sometimes even hold up interaction on my opponent's turn because I was paying so little mana on the board and just exiling a bunch of cards from graveyard to cast really big spells. So that's been super fun. I hope you enjoy the deck. This is Titan's Nest taking on the historic ranked ladder at Mythic. Yeah, that's a keep. Turn 2, Brainstorm, Fatal Passage away, the stuff you don't want. That's the thing that people aren't really doing with Brainstorm consistently. I'm seeing people like playing it wrong, where they're not really trying to shuffle away stuff. Alright, I think I'll Grizzly Salvage, and then, since I have double Brainstorm, I'll just do that for turn 3. Oh, okay, Shuffler totally rigged. All 4 Grizzly Salvage. 1 that I cast, and 3 that I'm about to mill, yeah. Shuffler is totally rigged. Nice to get rid of all those non-lands, but I need to hit land drops, but like, man. Grizzly Salvage is like a very aggressive mill card in this deck because we don't have any creatures. It's like either you hit lands or it just mills out all of the cards. Alright, so hit 3 lands in a row, drop off Professor Onyx and the Overgrown Tomb. Yeah. Shuffle those 2 away. Grab an island, I think. Alright, so opponent plays Resplendent Angel, kind of blue-white Angel's deck. Oh, nice. Titan's Nest, okay. So put maybe these 2 lands on top and draw the island. Now I can mill the other land with Titan's Nest on my upkeep, so that's pretty good. Get rid of that land. Feels good to get rid of it. Got enough lands, I think, at this point. Now that we have Titan's Nest, we're pretty well set. Alright, swing with Resplendent Angel. Play Elite Guard Mage, playing into the sweeper here. Yeah, that goes into the yard. Okay, draw another Watery Grave. Shuffler, totally fine. I want more black mana, so I'm going to put this down for the black mana. And I'm going to exile a few things, a Grizzly Salvage, and a Brainstorm. And then 2 mana of the mana that I have to destroy all non-dragon creatures. That was pretty good. I'm going to get a pretty good discount on this Thirst for Meaning as well. Exile Grizzly Salvage. Exile Fable Passage. Thirst for Meaning. Draw 3, discard 2. Breeding Pool and Extinction Event can both go into the yard. And then next turn I'm going to resolve Onyx. And hopefully hit something good off the plus. But yeah, resolving Professor Onyx feels pretty good. That feels like it would be a pretty good way to influence the game. Okay, another Resplendent Angel. Graveyard the Breeding Pool. Okay, Eldest Reborn's definitely going to take care of the Resplendent Angel. I'm going to just start exiling a bunch of stuff here. I'm just going to exile like 8 mana's worth of stuff here. That's the thing about Titan's Nest, is you have to exile the stuff manually because Auto Tapper is not going to give you the option, and you're just going to like tap your mana with Auto Tapper, so If you want to actually use a bunch of mana with Titan's Nest, I recommend just exiling all of it at the start of turn that you want to use. So we'll start with Onyx, lead on that. Plus the Onyx.
If I won't be given a second chance,
Brainstorm's
I'll
pretty good.
make my own. Let's go digging.
So that gets rid of Resplendent Angel. And I'm just going to leave up Brainstorm, I think. And I can get rid of at least one of the cards that I Brainstorm with Professor Onyx's ability. Oh, okay, so they're going to get rid of my Titan's Nest. Alright, we'll dissolve that first. But my Lian remains, so that's pretty good. Okay, just draw another one then. That seems fine. Totally fine. Alright, so put back Extinction Event, put back Crux of Fate. And just have all the sweepers. I think I'm actually going to take Land Drop here. We'll pay the life even, why not?
Come on, there's gotta be something useful. Ugh.
Alright, so Titan's Nest back online. I'm just going to go ahead and get the full discount on Shark Typhoon with Titan's Nest. Three, 4, and here's 5. So, Shark Typhoon for 1 blue, even though they just blew it up. They just used their artifact and enchantment sweeper. It's like the one card like that in Shatterstorm are like the only cards in the format that can actually punish me that way, like mass enchantment removal. Opponent is main decking mass enchantment removal, and I'm still on Titan's Nest. Like, I still have it. Just whatever. Shuffler, fine. Shuffler, totally fine. Alright, opponent, that's pretty good. Get a couple of creatures there. Just some good creatures. Alright, let's see what the top card in my library is. Come on. Gonna have to let me see at some point, opponent. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a big keep. Definitely want that, so I can exile Linvala. Start on exiling Linvala. Just get a little discount on that, maybe. Yeah. Just, you know, I'm not gonna pay full price. I'm just gonna get a little discount from my graveyard. So pay the full amount. Exile Linvala. Magecraft on Professor Onyx. With a big shark. 4/4 shark. Alright, so they're going to choose Indestructible, I would guess. Yeah, because Hexproof doesn't really make much difference here. Oh, big hit. Hitting Alrund's Epiphany is a big hit.
Ugh! There has to be an answer here.
Yeah, we'll just get one more here out of the yard. Oh, wait a second, that means we get the ultimate Professor Onyx. Oh, this is bad for the opponent. Oh my god, is this lethal?
This is why I'm the teacher and you're not.
Oh, come on, that's just abuse of power. That just feels wrong. Don't be that teacher who's just so abusive toward the students, makes them lose life or discard cards. Yeah, you can't really pay anymore, can you, without losing? Yeah, it would have been lethal anyway, because even if they discard that card... Wow. Getting them with Professor Onyx's ult. Yeah, this feels pretty keepable. Once again, I'm not gonna be able to first turn Brainstorm, but no, definitely don't want to play Overgrown Tomb. I want to have some white mana, or some blue mana available. here. Alright, so we're facing off against elves. Oh, I should have probably played Watery Grave there instead of Ground Catacomb. Oh well. So, I think this turn I'm gonna put down the Fabled Passage and just brainstorm looking for some kind of sweeper or removal of any kind, really. Alright, yeah, so definitely need to get rid of Elvishar's Druid. That's a huge problem. Shuffle away Professor Onyx, shuffle away Shark Typhoon, seems fine. Do have Nest in hand. Probably gonna hang on to that. Alright, so get attacked for 4, down to 15. It's not great, doesn't feel great. Gonna need a minor miracle here. Alright, breeding pool. No, I want to have double black so I can mastery and fatal push, so pay the life for Watery Grave, which I could have avoided if I had played it tapped on turn 1. I think I'm just gonna tap. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have to get. I don't want them to be able to tap Archdruid for mana, so it's either now or their upkeep. But yeah, they can't. They can't be having that. And hold open Fatal Push. Okay, so odd number there, odd number there. Okay, so just point the Fatal Push at Visionary because it was the only thing that was going to survive it then anyway. And take 2 off the Allosaurus Shepherd. Boom, down to 11. Pay the life. Extinction event on odd really gets them good here. Just everything into exile. Exile their whole board there. Oh, this flute music is really something. Okay, so Clan Caller. That's fine enough. Alright, so Titan's Nest now pay for Breeding Pool. Down to 7. Cast Search for Escanta by exiling Brainstorm. Alright, so now we're going to double trigger at the beginning of our upkeep. We're going to look at basically as many cards up to 3, I think, right? We like ditch 1 to Titan's Nest, ditch 1 to Search for Escanta. We get to see 3 of them. That's pretty good. Getting to look at 3 cards at the start of the turn. I want to. Don't think I'm gonna have enough to transform Search. Okay, yeah, we gotta keep that. Just gotta keep that all the time. Alright, so we're gonna work this to where we get a couple of 2/2s off the Grizzly Salvages. So we're gonna basically exile everything here, make 4 mana, pay the bulk of the Shark Typhoon this way, but it's still tap 2 mana. The hardcast Shark Typhoon. And then just grab an untapped land with this, right? Yeah, of course. Alright, well, feels bad to mill Professor Onyx, but maybe we should have held on to that from earlier. Anyway, play this, make another 2/2. Oh my gosh, okay, wow. Just 6 cards directly into the graveyard there. Really good ones too. But at least I've stabilized the board, empty-handed, but Search for Escanta flipping next turn for sure after that dumping everything into the Graveyard Festival I just had last turn. Alright, really need Sweeper here. Really badly need Sweeper. Block, block, don't take any damage. Okay. So, Search for Escanta is going to transform after I graveyard this. graveyard this other Titan's Nest for sure. Okay, so this is a Zuggoth Triome that cycles at least. But we need a sweeper right effing now, otherwise we're done. Alright. Well, we drew it. It has to be Crux of Fate, it can't be Extinction Event, otherwise we're in big trouble. Destroy all non-dragon creatures. Get a couple of exiles here to pay for the rest of the Crux of Fate. Really good, okay. Alright, Crux of Fate. Carrying the team here. What now? What now? What now? Okay, we're gonna graveyard this push. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, a bunch of lands. Can stack a couple of these on top and then get rid of them when we activate Search for Escanta at the end of the next turn. So yeah, just hang on to the cycle land. I guess if I had paid life with Overgrown Tomb, I could have also cycled the Zuggoth Triome, but whatever. Alright, we'll let this resolve because we don't have any counters anyway. Alright, well, Realm Walker feels pretty bad, and they do have the mana for Allosaurus Shepherd, so we need to get through some stuff here. Alright, well, any of that card draw would have been nice. That Thirst for Meaning or that Strategic Planning. Oh, hey. Yes. Alright, so get a discount from the graveyard with Thirst for Meaning. Just exile a couple of cards and pay 1 blue for it. Hopefully draw an enchantment to be able to just discard 1 instead of a double discard. Alright, well, that's still an amazing draw, and we're just going to ditch these 2 lands. Alright, so make black. Make second black for Dreadhorde General. Got as much mana here as I want. 2, 3, 4. Nice. Okay, so here comes Big Lily.
The undead make great minions.
The -2.
Loyal.
Get out of my way!
Oh, she's angry. Oh, now that I've done that, I feel like I should probably maybe have attacked with those 2. Yeah. Yeah, that might have been a misplay. Should have attacked with those 2 before sacrificing them, because I could have gotten in for 3. Right there. Alright, well, opponent is not going to seek to punish that, so that's good. Got away with 1 there. Definitely got away with 1 there. Yeah, this is fine. We'll draw the green. Brainstorm will do its magic for us, but we're not going to cast it turn 1. And so opponent's on white mana, creature deck of some kind. Strategic Planning, turn 2. Pick up the Crux of Fate. Cast it later off the Titan's Nest. Still looking for that green mana. It's in there. Bishop of Wings for the opponent. Round Catacomb. Yeah, just gonna pass with everything up, I think. Alright, 3 mana from the opponent. Going to attack with the bishop. No attack with bishop is strange. Oh yeah, the other blue cantrip. Yeah. Alright, so drew the land, but it's not untapped. Put back Titan's Nest, Crux of Fate. Let's let those come back up in that order. Alright, well I've got Extinction Event and Crux of Fate. Let's see if they give a space to resolve Titan's Nest here. Oski. No space. No space to resolve it. Alright, so I'm gonna draw with Thirst and... Okay, yeah, got double Shark Typhoon, I just need one of those. So I'm gonna discard one of them, and then just gonna Extinction Event. I really wish I could Eldest Reborn it, but... alas, I'm gonna have to fully exile it, rather than just have them sack it. I don't want to get hit with that. Don't want them drawing cards off it. So, Extinction Event on even to get rid of Toski. What does the opponent have? Collected. Main phase collected. It's Resplendent and Bishop. Alright, those are good hits. Got like a Soul Warden to follow up? No. Okay, so it's the Bant version with Linvala and Glasspool Mimic. I am gonna wrap their board here. Don't have a ton of cards in Yard. One more. Fatal Push. Alright, they make a 1/1 Spirit. And then what? We're gonna need to deal with this Titan's Nest right now. Because if they let me untap with it, I'm gonna do some very silly things. Play Shark Typhoon. Gonna play Eldest Reborn. Alright, so they Glasspool Mimic off the Coco and hit the Spirit token, which is really awkward. And then Bishop of Wings is hanging out as the other Coco hit. Alright, graveyard the Swamp. Draw the Drowned Catacombs is fine. We need to hit land drop anyway. Start exiling some stuff for Shark Typhoon. Get a Strategic Planning. Get another Shark Typhoon. And get that other Shark Typhoon. I think eventually we're just going to exile most all this. Alright, here's Shark Typhoon. And now we're going to go wild with getting a 1 mana. Well, yeah, because I'd like to at least be able to foretell the All-Runs Epiphany. So let's just get rid of Extinction Event. We'll leave the Crux of Fate there. So we'll make a 5/5 and play Eldest Reborn. They sack a token. I foretell All-Runs Epiphany. So that's pretty good. Because that's going to make a 7/7 Shark and give me an extra turn. Skyclave on the Titan's Nest, I think? Yeah. Alright. Well, we did get quite a bit of usage out of it. And I can just hardcast All-Runs Epiphany next turn. So, not all that great. Okay. The ability to exile stuff feels pretty good. I'm gonna attack with this 5/5, see what they do. They block yet. Don't really have to. I mean, they're pretty high life total. Okay, they're gonna block. Make a couple of birds, make a giant shark. Okay, Verdict is good insurance. I don't really know what to get here. Resplendent Angel. Can be that, could be Glasspool. Alright, attack all. Opponent goes to 10 life. And pass with Baleful Mastery up. Collected Company, of course. It's the third one for them this game. Oh, double Resplendent Angel. Gain 16. Oh man. Why do you do these things to me? Alright, well, at least prevent them from getting the second angel at the end of turn by exiling that. That's a really bad hit for me. Great hit for them. Alright, I may have to cast Shadow's Verdict, but I'm going to get in some damage points first. Because I just need to get rid of everything and start over. And I can start over pretty quickly if I just get that 4/4 token off the Skyclave Apparition even to start with. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, you know, get them down to 22 is more manageable. Couple of spirits, that's fine, we'll get rid of them all here. Yep, everything goes, everything out of their graveyard goes. Gonna bring this in tapped and start out with a 4/4 here. And then Brainstorm is awesome. You love it, you love to see it. Oh, another Allruns, excellent. Yep, I can just hardcast Allruns here. So Epiphany it up and then make a 7/7, make a couple of birds. Attack with the 4/4. Alright, well we've got our army made again within one turn, and everything's looking up, looking like roses. Opponent, your draw was not as good this time, yeah. Alright, that's game. And I'm back with Titan's Nest. So this is a Sultai control deck that I think has really a lot of potential as an archetype in Historic. I've been very impressed with it, just playing against some, you know, pretty heavy hitters in the format in terms of, you know, in best of one, that Angels, Coco, red-green, although the one we saw was splashing blue. That deck is a super powerful archetype, and one that I would definitely put into the top tier of the format. And similarly with Elves, although I think it's definitely taken a bit of a hit with all the different instants and sorceries that were injected into the format with the Mystical Archive. I think it's taken a bit of a hit, and, you know, still definitely a tier deck, maybe a tier 2 deck, the Elves deck at this point, although certainly people would fight me on that. But being able to take those on and have positive results in the best of one format is very promising. Where I think this deck will maybe struggle a lot more is against control decks. So if you want to main deck some counter magic, I think that would probably be wise. There are definitely a lot of control decks running around the format right now in the form of Jeskai control, which I featured on the Historic Weekly feature last week. So you know that those are out there, and maybe you want to main deck a couple of counter spells here and there for that matchup in particular. But I don't even honestly know that a few counter spells will really get you very far against control, because they're just gonna rip apart your Titan's Nest in terms of either just countering it outright, memory lapsing it a bunch of times, or just otherwise making it look bad. Maybe like tucking it with Teferi, Titan's Nest. So yeah, overall, I think it's going to struggle more so against control decks and have a little bit of an easier time against the creature decks, which, hey, are a big part of the best of one format. So, you know, if you want to be able to womp on creature decks, using Crux of Fate on them a couple of times will usually do the trick. Once again, I think Crux of Fate is a very underutilized sweeper in the format. Obviously, it's only been released into the format for a few weeks now, 6 weeks or so, but still, I think it's one that flies under the radar a little bit too much. Being a 5-mana sweeper is tough, but Unconditional Black Sweeper finally in the format. You know, we're not good enough to get Damnation, but at least Crux of Fate is here to destroy all non-dragon creatures for us. Very few dragon creatures in Historic, I guess, except for, like, you know, a few random ones here and there. But so overall, huge fan of the deck, huge fan of the archetype, and I think Titan's Nest is one that is going to have some more refining to do, and will eventually probably break into the format. I think at some point, as the summer wears on, people will catch on to the fact that this deck can actually do some pretty powerful things in Historic, like, you know, hard casting Shark Typhoon for 1 blue mana seems good, seems fine. You just have so many sweet enablers with Grizzly Salvage, and the lands are really good enough. Like, you have enough dual lands in Historic to make this work. So overall, definitely one that I would recommend, and I think there probably are a lot of changes to optimize the way that I have it now. It feels far from optimal, but definitely was winning games for me, so I shouldn't complain too much. That's going to do it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for this video. I really appreciate you for doing that. That is going to do it, and we'll see you next week on the Historic Weekly feature. This is Evil Empire, signing out.